really great to have you, and I encourage everyone to follow her work because you explain your position very well. So we see that the Fox poll motivating voters, abortion at 16%, jobs and economy at 15%. Then Lindsey Graham introduces a bill the other day for a 15-week limit. And this was exchanged with Jesse Waters last night. Jesse Waters primetime saying the timing was bad. Watch here.
I'm not asking for an apology. I'm just saying you're getting a lot of heat for the timing.
Well, you know what the issue is? That most Americans would be disgusted with a policy that allows the dismemberment of a baby at 15 weeks. The people are with me. And if I'm not willing to talk up now, if not now, when? If not me, who?
We just had General Bolduc on, who won the Republican primary in New Hampshire. He said he would not be for this. You have split amongst the Republicans. Just one more thing to listen to. Here's Senator McConnell on Tuesday.
With regard to his bill, you'll have to ask him about it. I think most of the members of my conference prefer that this be dealt with at the state level.
Let me give you the floor. Why do you think it shouldn't be?
Well, I think Senator Lindsey Graham has given a candidate the sweetest gift that you could ever get in the middle of an election and this close, and that is the gift of contrast that is to your advantage. The position of the 15-week late-term abortion limit is a 72% issue. 75% of women support this. The other side has a 10% issue, which is every abortion up into the end, and we all pay for it. That contrast is a gift, and it should be highlighted over and over. If you ask any of our opponents on the other side of Senate and House races, is there one abortion that you would stop, that you would say is illegal, up into the very end? They can't and don't name one. So that contrast is perfect, and it's exactly what we've been doing over the last many years on the federal level. We've been voting for a 20-week limit. This 15-week limit mirrors the Mississippi case that overturned Roe versus Wade. Makes total sense. It's a gift. And candidates, I believe, are going to, in the next few days, get to the point where they see that, start embracing it, and really bringing it up and including on the debate stage.
Marjorie, former Vice President Pence said this. He says, I'm convinced that enthusiasm among pro-life Americans in states across the country is equal to or greater than any new motivation by people that support abortion rights. But are you seeing that? Is that true, especially when you look at like one of those results of the referendum in Kansas, for example?
Well, what happened in Kansas is what is actually, frankly, is what is happening now, and it's a false framing of what the vote was actually about. In the voters' minds, it was a vote on a ban on abortion. This is how the media is characterizing all the Lindsey Graham's position as well. A ban on abortion was not what that referendum was about. It was about should the people decide what abortion law should be in their state. And since that narrative never got through, it was understandable that we lost. I think that's, if our abortion, pro-life candidates are going to win on the abortion issue this time, it's because they've clearly communicated the narrative and the contrast between themselves and their opponents. And I do know that on the ground we will reach 8 million voters in battleground Senate and House races before Election Day, and we see that enthusiasm, we see the excitement, and it is actually because we're reaching persuadable and voters that aren't necessarily 100% pro-life all the time. It's a pro-choice position and a pro-life position, to be perfectly honest, to be for a 15-week limit.
Wanted to ask you just one. I have 20 questions for you, but I only have time for one more. I was listening to a major publication's daily podcast this morning, and they talked about the 15-week limit, and they said that Republicans or pro-life people chose 15 weeks just because it sounds good and it polls well, with no regard at all to any of the research on fetal pain. I thought I'd give you a last word there to just address that.
Yeah, well, we're being ambitious in every legislature as we can. The national legislature is building a consensus around the 15-week limit. And why? Because at 15 weeks, all of the organs are formed, lips, eyes, ears. They start sucking either left or right thumb, that boy or girl does. And then you know whether that baby is going to be left or right-handed. If there's in utero surgery on a baby that's 15 weeks, you give them anesthesia so that they don't feel pain from whatever correction is happening in utero. That should say a lot to us about what a civilized nation should be. More in line with all of Europe. 47 out of 50 nations limit abortion before 15 weeks because of what I just described about that precious child. And the mother deserves our love and protection every single time.
Marjorie, you've got your work cut out for you, but I know you're a very hard worker. It's good to have you. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.